Hi everybody, I'm Brendan from Pebble Design. Apologies for the 5-minute delay, and looks like we're not going to get the overhead projector working, which is okay. My main intention with this morning was to really, I've been in the industry, advertising industry, for 26 years, and I started my own company, Pebble Design, 18 years ago, and we specialise in the hotel and rights management sector of building websites and the online marketing around that. So my intention with today is hopefully some of the bits and pieces that I've learned I can pass on to you guys to help you better tweak your businesses. I appreciate that everyone is very busy, and you know that it's a changing landscape that we are in today. How technology keeps changing, and I know from a lot of our clients, talking directly with them, they find it difficult. Thanks, Teresa. They find it difficult to keep up to date with all the changes in technology, and you know, what should I do with social media? And but one of the biggest changes I've noticed in the last 2 to 3 years is the direct booking drama unfolding itself and most of our clients are small boutique properties. Are you all rights management properties? Hands up, anyone? Yeah. So it's in with the direct bookings. I talk a lot to my clients and say, well, you know, what is happening, you know, with their businesses? How are they growing their businesses? What can we do at a marketing level to help them expand and grow their business? And I've seen with the numbers how many of them, their direct bookings have been going, you know, they're paying more and more commissions to the OTAs, which is it's a fact of life, and I mean everybody's witnessing it. It's no mystery, but it's what can you do about it? So hopefully today I'll run you through a few things. I'll just refer to. So the main emphasis is one of the things I notice is consumers aren't aware of how valuable they are, or of what value they are to you when they book direct. So it's really making sure that we communicate that at a marketing level through your website, so that there is an understanding. And I'll explain. I'll go through and I'll show you. Or explain to you what some of the big companies are doing. So there's a lot of, and this was an interesting, I was chatting with a friend at the supermarket, as you do, you bump into them while you're buying your groceries, and she travels a lot with her family. So, you know, 3 kids, so there's 5 of them. They travel probably 4 times a year, all over the place, Australia and all over the world. And the interesting thing, I asked her, I said, I always just say, where's your latest trip? And, oh yeah, and got this great deal on booking.com. And I went, what? You know, why do you book on booking.com? And here's a regular traveller who she said, oh yeah, I always get the best price on booking.com. And I said, that's just not true. If you speak directly to any of the properties, you will get a better offer. You probably get a better room, better deal, more inclusions. They'll look after you. They'll upgrade you to a better package. She's totally unaware. She's just convinced, and you know, happily goes along with whatever booking.com are advertising. Yep, you'll get the cheapest rates guaranteed. There is, and I do a lot of reading around this. The good news is that I looked at a report done by Hitwise in May this year, and they've said out of the 10 big chain hotels, 6 of them are reporting increased growth with direct bookings. So there's a definite change going on. There's the other report I read, which was, and this was actually just a couple of weeks ago, Calibri Labs, they did a study across 12,000 hotels, and they've got a whole lot of figures. The interesting one that I looked at was revenue growth of 9.3% from direct bookings. Well, I mean, revenue growth, because some of our clients have been seeing revenue growth go down because they're paying such high commissions. So to see nearly 10% revenue growth is been huge for them. So that to me shows how the market is shifting. Also in the UK, I don't know if you've read any of the news there, but they are really what people almost consider breaking consumer law. The fact that the way they advertise, the site's not accurate. There's not, the clarity with what products they're offering. So in the UK, they even want to take them to task. There's a major investigation undergoing with Booking.com to really look into. So I mean, Booking.com have really just been able to move quite quickly. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Booking.com is a great resource for every property. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's but as a business, you really want to be using the strengths and weaknesses of each channel to its advantage. And what I see with a lot of our clients is, because they're not quite paying attention to the subtleties of what they should be doing with their marketing, they've very much, just putting themselves in the hands of the OTAs, and Booking.com is the main one that everyone, it certainly has the highest figures out of all the clients that we look at. So they're putting themselves in the hands of Booking.com and potentially losing a lot of their own business. And when I talk earnestly with a lot of my clients, they're trying to build their business up to eventually sell it. Some of them have got a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. You want to make sure that your business is growing, not going down. So it's just about keeping abreast with that. It's interesting though to see how much money, and I just saw an article last night saying that the next quarter, Priceline, which is the parent company of Booking.com, are going to increase their advertising spend. Again, it's a positive sign from our point of view, because it means that they are not getting as much business as they used to be. Therefore, they have to spend more money on advertising. So that again is a clear sign that more people are booking direct and they are getting less business out of it. But it also says that they are going to spend more money in advertising. So, that's more brainwashing for the general public. That's why it's just important, what can we do? And that's what I'll hopefully get into a few things. What can we do as, small independent properties, that we can be sure that we are talking and having that conversation with your clients so that you are getting more direct bookings. Another interesting component that I found out when I was talking with some of our clients is, and our company is primarily web design and the online marketing side of things, really helping build those numbers and figures, making sure that people are getting lots of bookings through the direct website. But with talking with our clients, I was saying, how are things going? And one of the things that came up was cancellation. We're moving into what some of our clients call a cancellation society. And companies like Booking.com make this very easy. They almost promote it. Like, just make a booking, doesn't matter where, just make a booking, you can always cancel it later. And I've got some clients with up to 20 to 30 cancellations a month from Booking.com, and it's causing havoc. I mean, just when you think you've got rooms sold, then suddenly there's big gaps, and really problematic. I just spoke to 2 gentlemen in Newcastle. They've got 18 properties, exact same thing. They said it's at least 30 cancellations a month between their 18 properties. It's and then when I started digging around, did some research, I found some figures. 104% cancellations from Booking.com, more than a hotel website. So that's pretty high figure. 104% more likely to cancel if they've booked on Booking.com. So even if you are getting bookings via Booking.com, important to remember, will that be a definite booking? And you need to just factor that into your, how you are operating daily. Expedia. Expedia is really, again, in Australia, I think it's a lot bigger in Europe and the States, but Expedia definitely nowhere near as strong as Booking.com. But it's only 31%. But still, Expedia, 31% of people. But they're not directly encouraging people to cancel. What was Christopher Nassetta from the Hilton CEO, he's actually changed their cancellation policies. They've changed it to a 48-hour pre-cancellation policy, having massive impact. When you own 4.5, or you're managing 4,500 properties, you've got a very big problem when you get that level of cancellation. So they've physically changed their cancellation policy, and it's, Booking.com, even some of the language, book now, or you'll lose the room. Just book it. And it's no problem to change your plans when you have free cancellation. So it's free cancellation, just book whatever you want and cancel later. I even had, who was I talking to the other day? They said that a client had requested that they book 3 rooms in the same hotel and that they would choose later which one they would take. And the hotel obviously just said, sorry, there's no way we can do that. It's just...
but you don't have to have free cancellation before Booking.com.
You don't have to, no. No, you don't, absolutely. But they promote it. One of their campaigns was, if there's a better rate released, you can cancel and then book again. So that's what they encouraged people to do, and they were caught out with that and told to stop doing that. You don't have to, you're absolutely right. But it does, it's created what I see as a cancellation society. I've been talking to some of the reservations people, and they're having people come down to reservations and they'll say, can you book me a restaurant for tonight? But I'd like to, I'm not sure if I want Italian, this, that or that. So can you just book all of them, and then I'll tell you later this afternoon when I get back from the beach which one we're going to go to. And it's just not fair on the restaurants to even do that. So that's why I was just where I thought, wow, there really is that phenomenon. You know, we're developing a cancellation society through the portals and the tools that people are using. There's another quote from one of the hoteliers in Europe. I should have put his name on. I'll give you access to all my information so you can go through it. But he was just saying it's becoming all their Booking.com bookings are a repository for all their crap bookings. That was, you know, his terminology. It's just but again, it's for me, Booking.com works incredibly well for a lot of our clients because they use it to their advantage. They use it as the bill or the billboard effect, where people will look at them they'll find them on Booking.com and then come to their website. Whereas if you're not listed there, and if you're not managing it right, 'cause some of our properties are managing what they put, what inventory, they manage their cancellation policies, they really make sure that they've got all these things checked. So I'm just hoping that I can give you one tidbit today that's going to help you improve your business. So, I mean, I'm no expert, to be honest, at managing hotels. What I am expert in is building and designing the websites, and I read a lot. I just find it fascinating. I've just always been fascinated with hotels, and for me, I'm constantly reading 10 to 20 articles a day. There's just a lot of great information out there. I skim through a lot. I'd say 15% of that is about the Booking Direct, and there's a reason why, again, that we shouldn't really phrase it as Book Direct, because the general population don't understand what that means. I'll come to that later. Hilton, obviously, I don't know if everyone's seen their advertising, but their biggest advertising campaign in 97 years was released to basically counteract the direct booking saga. And they've spent millions, absolute millions, I think it was in the triple digits in terms of how much money they spent. They spent $100,000 on their advertising campaign, Stop Clicking Around, on the music alone, which was the Rolling Stones, one of the Rolling Stones songs. So Hilton have certainly made big inroads, and I mean, why is this relevant? Well, it's good for all of us, because here's a major hotel organisation really educating or re-educating the public, saying that stop clicking around, book direct. And Hilton went on to, in their billboards, they basically say, get the lowest price guaranteed, free Wi-Fi, and they offered more incentives when you book direct. Clearly, they just upfront offered more incentives. And yet it's rare that I go to a hotel website, I travel a lot, and actually see what those incentives are. So it's, even though it sounds, and I know everybody gives people incentives when you ring up on the phone, but it's, I'm in the web world, and when people are looking at anywhere from 5 to 35 websites before they make a booking for their holiday, they're going to look at they're making quick observations based on what they are seeing, what's been communicated via that website. They're making an initial decision when they can see they'll have Booking.com open as well. They'll be checking prices, they'll be checking who's offering what, and it's a narrowing down process. And if it's very obvious and you've made it very simple and easy for the general public to know that you offer the best price, that you've got the best package for them, that it's going to have free inclusions that they can't get anywhere else, then you've left them no choice but to book direct with you. So, and that's what Hilton did. So they've spent millions on their campaign. I mean, really nice campaign. They've done a lot of TV, everything. The main 9 reasons that I've seen in the web space, because again, I love looking at our stats. I monitor our stats very closely in terms of, you know, what pages people are visiting, where they're coming from, what actions are they taking. We set up custom goals within the site, so we know if they're making a phone call, if they're sending you an email inquiry, if they've clicked on your book online. We like to implement revenue tracking, so whatever booking engine you're using, we like to track back how many dollars does that equate to. So we're looking at a lot of statistics, and from a lot of that I can see there's 9 key reasons which I think are quite logical as to why people don't. I'll just run through these 9 reasons, but more importantly I want to get onto, I've identified 10 reasons which are probably the opposite of these, which I'll like to discuss in more detail with you, because I think that's where there'd possibly be a lot more value. So I'll just quickly run through the 9 reasons that I don't think people will book direct. Quite simply, they believe they can get a cheaper price elsewhere, and Booking.com working really hard at convincing people that they are the cheapest. Even to the point where we were noticing that rate parity was a little bit slipping, especially with Expedia. They might take 1 or 2% off their commission and always appears to have a cheaper rate on Expedia. And when we looked into running a price check tool, there's a couple of companies in Europe which, so it can display the price on the website. They were quite expensive, and we ended up building our own little tool. And in doing that, we were monitoring all the rates for several months, watching how there was fluctuations. And Expedia were probably consistently slightly lower. But to be honest, over the last 6 months, I'm seeing that it's pretty much rate parity now. It's rare that they are different. And Booking.com was pretty much always on parity. So that's, you know, to their credit, they never altered the prices. They would just. But it's funny how if you'd put a price up there, they would say, look, today it's 27% off. 27% off what? That's the base rate that you gave them. So that's a bit of a lie when they've got a big banner saying 27% off, when it's 27% off nothing, because that's the base rate you've given them to sell it at. That's just their web tactics. So the first one is people believe they can get a cheaper price elsewhere. The second one is, and this I see is quite common, and sites like TripAdvisor, if there's no guest reviews on your website, because this is how I'm seeing how marketing's changed. Having been in the marketing industry for 26 years, and I mean, that was before computers. We used to do a lot of television, radio, press. Whereas these days, it's no longer what marketers have to say. People don't believe what marketing anymore. They've got their BS detectors up, and it's very much, it comes down to truth and authenticity and they can get that from other people. So they're looking at reviews. So that's why sites like TripAdvisor did flourish. I'm not sure what's happening with them and how they're going now. Some of their latest ventures haven't worked that well, but they do offer guest reviews, and people have widely now become to know, well, yep, if I'm looking for a guest review, I'll go to TripAdvisor. Why? Because most hotel sites never had any. And I still look at a lot of hotel sites, no guest reviews anywhere. And if you leave people to read their guest reviews on TripAdvisor, guess what? They're going to book it on TripAdvisor, because now there's booking links everywhere, which go through to Booking.com, Expedia. So that's a common reason we're seeing a lot of exit links. People go and they'll leave a site. Or, as you'll see, TripAdvisor love to hand out awards to everybody all the time, and those are exit links that go to their site. So there is a way of handling those, which I'll explain later. Third reason that people leave is because there's no incentive. to book direct. There's no difference between whether you book it on your website or whether if you book it on booking.com. If there's no clear difference whatsoever, then there's no reason that you're not really capturing people that way. The number 4 is no special offers or packages offered on a website. And this is an interesting one because I know from our statistics, I run benchmark stats every year across our top 100 hotel sites, and I try and work out, well, what's the average? What's an average median for, what should be getting done or what activity happens on a website? And the second most looked at page on a website is the specials page. After, obviously the home page, but then it will be accommodation, and then it will be specials in that order. Majority of our websites, the visitation funnel goes homepage, accommodation, what does my room look like, and what special are you offering? So that's a very common pattern we see with how visitors navigate through a website. It's good to know because if you want to put information up there, say something's changed at your hotel, put it on one of those pages, and you know that people are going to see it. So. And if you've got packages on there too, you can offer all sorts of great packages. I'm not a big fan of discounting. I like to value add. So with packages, you can add more things in so that you're not discounting your rate. Because I like to help our clients grow their yield, not discount their rate. If you're playing the discount game, you're doing the same game as Booking.com. So it's offering an all-inclusive package that people they're no longer comparing a price, they are looking at an experience. And that's what I believe people ultimately are buying, an experience. It's not just based on price. It is definitely a deciding factor, but it's the experience ultimately, which will then lead to location, why are they down there, what are they going to do, who are they with, it's what experience are they going to have. The 5th reason that I see people leave the site is that there's no current news or local information. And I'll get into, that's an area, just the local attractions, that's an area that a lot of these companies are spending millions of dollars on because they know that it's more than just advertising, accommodation. It's really appealing to people, and they're going the whole, because of the effect social media is having, and people are able to connect with people. What's the coolest bar in town, or what restaurant would you suggest? And it's that level of Is it
blogging?
You could say that was blogging. Yeah, I mean we actually build a blog into every one of our clients' sites, or we build in several blogs. You might have an events blog if you're in a location where there's a lot happening, like Brisbane. There's a lot of events on all the time, and you might build a local attractions. So if there's a lot of local attractions around, tourist destinations, things to do. And because again, a very important part of building a website or marketing today, for me it is, out of all the marketing I've done, the strongest and greatest form of marketing I see is your website. Because that's where your search engine optimization gets based from. It becomes a great resource of information for a business. When you put, say there's a local attraction and you've got a particular clientele, you want your clientele, you want to write the attraction in their language, not just, for instance, I mean, up where we are, there's Mooloolaba Underwater World. That's it's more of a kiddie-friendly, it's not that interesting for the adults, but it's a great place to take the kids. So you can word it, so if part of your audience is families, that's a great one to promote. Whereas on the other hand, we've just opened or built the new website for the Cairns Aquarium up there, and that's a huge $50 million project, which appeals to everybody all over the world. And that level of, how you would word that is very different to what you would, even though they're two aquariums, one's two very different experiences. So and depending on your audience, you want to word things in your way, and then you get the search engine optimization for it. So you get the long term. One of our clients in Brisbane, they get more visitors to their website via their blog, via their local attractions page, than their homepage. So there's more people find and read about the article because Google pulls up the search, and they'll go into the article and then find the hotel as a result of that. So it's, that's why it's important. But it's interesting because a lot of websites, hotel websites, don't have any of that on there. Or if they do, it's very generic information that you can get better off the local tourism site. The sixth reason, this is a pet hate of mine, is websites are slow. I mean, who loves a slow website? It's just, technology is quickly advancing. The NBN is finally rolling out, and as we get used to speeds, it's no longer acceptable to jump on a website that is slow. And the important thing behind that is, it's inconvenient to go on a slow website, but when you've got when the big companies like Google, who are going to give you a quality score based on how fast your website works, you better be sure that you're ticking all the right boxes for Google, otherwise they are not going to give you the SEO rankings that you want. See, SEO has moved on way beyond keywords and meta tags, and you know, that still plays a role, but it's, more importantly, it comes down to speed. How fast is your website work? And this is something, and I'll give you, when I send the link to you guys, there's an actual link I'll give you so you can go and test your website. It's a developer tool that Google released to web developers, but I'll share the link with you, and you can go in and test your website. You can test your competitors' websites. You can, and just keep an eye on what's happening on your website so that you know if there's something you need to fine tune. So, because again, for me, it's the philosophy is make things easy, simple, and fast. And that, if you stick to that formula, then your customers are going to love you for it. They'll make a booking, because it's not easy and fast on Booking.com. It's complicated. It's difficult. There's just too much stuff everywhere. It looks, it's interesting. You look at Facebook and Booking.com, and they're very busy platforms. Whereas we've got the opportunity, when you design your website, make sure that it's clean, simple, tells people exactly what they're going to get, it works fast, and it's easy to book. These are simple things, but I see them not done right so many times. And I see a lot of websites that advertise best rate guarantee, but it doesn't say what is the guarantee. So are you going to give me $10 off? You're going to give me 10% off? Or so just be careful if you do advertise a best rate guarantee. It's not just jargon that you can. It's a bit like paleo friendly or fat free or sugar free, or there's so many things get stuck on at a marketing level. But it's is there some follow through? Is it backed up by some solid points? Have you actually got a guarantee that's clear, so that people can go, okay, well, what have I got to lose? And if you take the pain away from them thinking that they can book it somewhere else, then if you can say, no, we've got a guarantee that we'll look after you with the lowest best price, then they've got nothing to fear. You've overcome that hurdle for them. Number 8, again, this is just keeping up with technology. Your website is old-fashioned or old school, or it's designed to not responsively, so that it doesn't fit on all the different devices. There's over 30 different screen sizes at the moment. When we build our websites, it's got really hard for us developers. We've got to, and I don't know if too many companies do, but I know our developers are squeaky clean when it comes to this. They develop or do 17 different media queries. So they're constantly asking what screen size, and they will do 17 different possibilities. It's like an algorithm. So if you've got this screen size, then we will give you that styling, and we'll display it that big. So that way, we just want to make sure that no matter what device, you shouldn't be penalised based on the device you're using as to how the website performs. So that's something to look for. Number 9 is, which is, it goes into the website's not responsive. So it's either the design doesn't really communicate what you offer, it doesn't show what your booking guarantee is, it doesn't display pricing, it doesn't even mention that there's benefits to booking direct, things like that. And it's key that it works responsively, because
even from 2018, January 2018, Google are changing how they rank websites. They are now going to rank websites based on what it looks like on that, no longer on the computer. That's Google, like that's a pretty bold step for them to say it all comes down to, because they know that's where the majority of people are looking on their device. It's on their mobile. So your website will be ranked on how it looks on that. So just be aware of that. That's coming next year. And that could mean that your rankings significantly change. But provided you've got a good responsive website, it's not going to be a problem.
So those were the 9 factors why people leave a site and don't book direct. Let's get to the interesting stuff, which is really what we work with our clients on quite a lot in terms of, and there's really just 10 areas that I see that can help. So I'm hoping maybe just 1 or 2 of these factors will make a difference for you guys, just to help build your businesses. So one of the things that, it's a shame I can't show you these, but you'll see it when I send it through. One of the things that I find really useful when you're looking at a hotel website, when you jump on a page, is to see a price somewhere. Because at least put me in the ballpark, you know, how much am I expecting to pay? And that, surprisingly enough, gets quite complicated to find, or you've got to click into booking engines and you've got to put dates and you've got to put number of nights and you've got to put in number of people, and you've now taken up 10 minutes of somebody's time just to find out a price. So one of the features we included on our little price checking tool, and there's other ways of doing this. There's lots of price check tools out there. We developed one which is what I think is a really cheap, affordable price compared to a lot of the others that are out there. It shows the price. It actually pulls in a price and it displays it right there on the homepage so people can see a price. So immediately they know, are you 200 a night, 250 a night, 350 a night? You know, what are we talking about? So the other way that you can do that is we also build into our sites a special offers rotator or banner. So if you have got special offers and you want to advertise them on your homepage, again, this is all happening on your homepage. If you put your special offers on your homepage so that they can click through and see what they are, put a price in them, put a nice price so that it displays what that price is. Again, if you've got a 3-night stay for $640 that includes dinner or a cruise or something, then people can see, wow, that's what we're happy to pay. I wonder what that's about. So by seeing a price, you get through to people quickly. So that's really the first thing for me is, and this is where Booking.com and so many sites do it well. I was on the Ritz-Carlton, the Ritz Hotel in London. I was looking at their website earlier this week, and when you go to their rooms page, the second most visited page, guess what you see there? The prices got from, and it's got a price. Find out more, book now. And I thought that was beautifully done. It's just I sent the example around to our web developer team, just saying now that's an example of a really good. It raises its own set of complex issues because you've got to, where do you feed that price in from and all that sort of stuff. So
I think that's the key, is it's got to be a live price.
Yep.
Because
it's changing all the time.
Prices are dynamic these days.
That's right. They change all the time.
Several times a day. So
yep.
It needs to be dynamic. I've looked at a couple of websites that have got that, but it's just got a from $250.
Yep.
But then you go into the booking.
It's $350.
It's $350, or it might be $200.
Yeah.
It's not a live price, that's a medium figure. But if you can put a live price in there, because as I said, the second most visited page after the home page is the accommodation page.
Accommodation, yeah.
If you've got the price there on that page, I think
you've got them, yeah. But you know how many? I hardly see that.
I don't see it.
No, and when I saw, and this is a brand new site that Ritz had come up with, and they've obviously spent millions on doing it, and I thought, well, very good psychology behind what they've done. So, and that, as you said, I think it's a very important thing. So if you want that little bit extra step up above your competitors, just put your price on there. A way to do that is the price check tool that we developed does feed in a dynamic price. So depending on which booking engine you're working with, we can feed in a dynamic price so that way it is showing whatever rate you've got advertised, it's showing that. The second best way of making sure people stay on your site is to display guest reviews. So we build into our clients' websites a guest review module so that people can physically leave a guest review on your website. It comes through to you to check, and if you're happy with it, you can simply approve it and it'll get loaded live on your website. So it's adding a lot of fresh content to your website, because that's the hard thing with building, when it comes to search engine optimization. How do you add content to a hotel website regularly? Because there's not much that changes. Whereas the one thing changing is the guests. They are changing every night. So if we can get them to be leaving reviews, you've got fresh content getting added all the time to your website. So again, our clients that have got guest review modules built into their sites, they are getting a lot of good organic rankings just because they've got a lot of content being added on a regular basis. These are little things that the search engines look at, Google especially. They're looking at how often is your website used, where do people come in from, what do they add content, all that sort of stuff. They treat, we're having to fit the hotel industry into a commerce industry which is full of blogging and news sites and that type of thing. So how do we best adapt the accommodation hotel market using SEO principles that the algorithms are designed for to still work for us? So that's pretty much what we try and work on. And this is one of the ways of doing that. Same as special offers. If you're adding special offers, you can add special offers, a different one each month if you like, and just change it. And then see which one's working best for you. And you can run different specials different times of the year. Over the period of a year, you've got a whole lot of special offers that you can monitor and check and see, well, which special offer brought in the most bookings. And it's interesting, sometimes the special offer that has the most interest doesn't bring in the most bookings. That's an interesting figure that it doesn't make sense, but we've seen that people go, wow, that sounds fantastic, but nobody books it. And yet there'll be another package that's just a bit different or simpler, and everyone books that. But it's interesting, it's different for each property. But once you've got that information on there, then you can actually start to understand what are your customers doing, what are your guests doing. The third way to get more direct bookings is give people a clear incentive. So we built that into our price check tool as well. We gave people 3 spaces to put, why would I book direct? What am I going to get that's different to booking somewhere else, booking.com? So you can offer things like free Wi-Fi, free parking, whatever it is that you can offer that you can be different to what you offer on your OTA channels. That's an incentive, and that works extremely well for a lot of our guests, our properties, because that's what the guest wants. It's like, well, what's in it for me? What am I going to get that's different, and how can you encourage me to? And that's what Booking.com do. They really focus on price because that's all they can offer. They can't give extras. You can. All Booking.com can do is say that they've got cheaper prices, they've got discount. This is on special. There's only one left. Buy it quick, going fast. That's all they can do. They can't offer free Wi-Fi, free parking, free breakfast, all the other, it could be a free coffee or free drink at the bar, or it depends on what your facilities are. There's always things that you can offer. And on that, the Ritz website, they have next to their book online, they've got a Why Book Direct. And when you click on that, a little pop-up window comes, and it's clearly laid out what you get. They offer lowest rate possible, most flexible cancellation times, no hidden costs, booking or service fees, free calls and internet. So they're even offering free phone calls, priority consideration for room requests, and dedicated reservation specialists. So they even give different people to work with once you're in the hotel, so you're getting better service. That's the length that the Ritz are going to. So they just want to, again, at the end of the day, all we want to do is make sure that guests and clientele out there know that they are going to get the best treatment, the best service, and the best prices when they come direct to you. And it's just a matter of, if we can get that clearly displayed on your website, we've done the job. And then obviously we need to deliver that, which you guys probably already do. Almost all of our clients are working really hard at giving the best service and looking after everybody. They already do that. But when you go to their website, or any of their other marketing for that fact, because we do a lot of social media marketing, we do banners and banner ads and all, there's no mention of any of that. It's just lots of pretty pictures. Well, but it's still not clearly communicating that when you book with the hotel, you'll get the best price. So it's just making sure that we do that. One of our clients, they offer free breakfast, which is slightly different, which they can do. They just do. They love staying. They go to Europe a couple times a year. They love staying over there, and they love the idea of the continental breakfast. So they wanted to offer that in their hotel, and they do. But one of the things we put on their website was a little pop-up window that they can get. You can get a discount voucher code immediately, and we thought we'd try. And to be honest, this is the 5th version we've done of it. We've had to play with it a little bit to get the wording right, get the position of it right. And we've seen their it's working twofold for them. Their bookings are up, their revenue's up, and they watch their competitors closely. They know what the market's travelling as. They are. Because one of the other things is, in order to get the discount code, you have to put your email address in. And for me, this is where the real gold is. When you can, because again, Booking.com stopped giving you direct email addresses. They're taking your clients, and that is now our client now, and we can email and communicate with them, and you can't. We won't. They've only got a Booking.com email address. So it's very important that you build your own email database. And this, by offering a discount code, people are clearly happy to give something in order to get. So they give you your email address, they get the discount code. When they punch that code in, it's already got the reduced rates. So that's kind of the loyalty. That's exactly what Hilton are doing in a small scale. Hilton are offering better rates because they're part of a loyalty club. And the ACCC passed a ruling that you cannot advertise cheaper rates unless they are in a loyalty club. So you can immediately get people to sign up to a loyalty club on your website, offering them an incentive, a discount, a voucher, free breakfast, whatever it is, when they give you their email address. Now, these are people that aren't booking with you, they're merely interested, and it's a great way of building your database. How great? We've built their database nearly 3,000%. So it went up from, because again, not many people subscribe. A lot of websites have subscribed to our newsletter or our special offers, but there's no incentive. It just says subscribe. So you want me to do something, but I don't get anything out of that, other than maybe I'll get an email about your special offers. Whereas this one, you put your email in, you get a code straight away. And you've now got those people in your database. So they've grown their database massively. They send out regular email newsletters now once a month, and things are traveling really well for them. It's just simple things. It doesn't cost a lot. Simple strategy, but it's working. So just wanted to share that one with you. That was number 4. And again, you will have access to this presentation. You'll be able to see the figures. You'll see the growth. They went from 39 subscribers to 1,206 in about a 5 or 6 month period. It's just, and watching the graph just goes like that, and it's great to see that sort of movement. The 5th way to get more bookings is to, and we talked about a little bit earlier about the blog. It's put information on your website that's not just selling them, a holiday, not just selling a room, not just selling an apartment. It's giving them something interesting, and everyone I speak to knows something about their location. Where's the best smoothie bar? Where's the best whiskey bar? Where's the best yoga studio? Where's the nearest park for this? Where's the best surfing beach? Everybody knows, and it's interesting because Airbnb they coach and train everybody who goes onto Airbnb to be an advocate of local things in your area, and they sell. If you jump on Airbnb, you'll see how they are selling experiences in those cities. Whether it's the chocolate tour or whether it's a cooking. You can live with someone who's a chef. Go and stay. That's what they're trying to promote. So Airbnb are doing that. The Booking.com have released a new section, again spending a lot of money on it. Travel guides. So they are opening up travel guides for all the different cities so that clients are not leaving their website. They're staying on their website. And of course, when you're on a travel guide looking for information and you're finding out some, what's a great tour to do, or what's the best hot air balloon experience I can go on, they've got the information up there, and then you can book your room. So that's what Booking.com are also doing. So it's very important that you can tailor-make an experience for your guests. What can you put on your website that's interesting and that's unique to you, that's interesting to you? One of my clients, he loves mountain biking, so he goes off-riding. So I said to him, great, put some of that information on your website so that people can go, he'll end up attracting people who also like mountain biking, and they'll talk to him, and he'll be having fun, they'll be having fun, and you're attracting your own niche market, and that's what's different. See, Booking.com can do it in a generic way. They can put these travel guides up there, and they will get bloggers and vloggers and photographers, and they'll put information up there, but it's still not going to be, it's going to be more generic, because they're just covering general cities. Whereas you can really fine tune it, like the nearest coffee shop is literally on that corner over there, or so you can really make it a bit special. We worked with a hotel down in Melbourne. They had another agency doing all their marketing and branding, and the essence of that branding all reduced down to a few words, and it was our favourite. That was the whole brand that they wanted to go with, and that was the whole culture that they were building with their hotels, so that every person in the hotel would be able to recommend their favourite, whatever it was, Thai restaurant, their favourite yoga studio, their favourite bar, their favourite takeout. I saw an article, this was on a Sunshine Coast Destination newsletter, and I thought it was great. The article was titled 5 Hidden Bars you'd never want to miss if you visit the Sunshine Coast. And I thought that's a really interesting angle, because it's like, oh wow, this is like some secret information. And we've just done another website for a client in Melbourne, and it all comes down to, it's amazing, every time I go down there, it's all about the little things around the corner. Like I found this jazz bar, which I would never have found it if I didn't know about it, if I hadn't spoken to a local about it. And one of the girls at the hotel recommended it, said, oh, if you want to go to get some jazz, this is the place to go to. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing. But I would have walked right past it, because it was hardly had any signage up, as most of the things do in Melbourne. It's just, you either know it's there or you don't. I've even been to some bars where there's not even a sign out the front. It's just a door, and you've got to knock, but you've got to know that that's the door to knock on. So that's the information you can share through your website or even through your newsletter. So you don't have to broadcast it, to everybody, but you can broadcast it to your database. So definitely speed, and as I said, you'll have access to the tool that we use to check the site speed. It'll check your site on a desktop, and it'll check your site on a mobile, and it will give you a score. It'll either be poor, average, or needs work, or good. So good is over 85 out of 100, and that's ideally what you want to be going for. Our sites, there's a bit of a competition going on. I think the highest is 98 out of 100, and that's with streaming video, big photos, everything coming in. So you just need to build the sites carefully so that Google see it as friendly. They will happily share your website with the whole world if it works fast and it meets the criteria. So it's one of the things. I mean, there's been research done on it. A 1 second delay of a load time equals 7% loss in conversions, 11% fewer page views, and 16% decrease in customer satisfaction. I mean, that was some statistics I pulled off. We see a lot of movement in the management rights at the moment with buying and selling, and one of our clients sold. We worked with them for years. We helped build the business up, and it was great. Now, this happens to us a lot. We help our clients build their business up with their marketing, their web, and it becomes attractive, the figures are good, and it's a good proposition to buy. So we've had quite a few of those scenarios happen to us, and it's good when we get to work with the new owner, as in this case we didn't, and they built a new website, and I went and checked it, and its score was 56 out of 100. So Google reckons it's very poor. And so they had a website that was working fast, and then I looked a bit deeper, and I just thought I'd tell the new owners. I said, look, I'm not digging or anything. I just want to give you the facts. We did manage your site, your property. It was performing at that level, and because few things have happened, it's now performing at this level. When I checked their visitation, it was down 70%. 70% less visitors to that website than the year before. See, these are the sorts of stats that we can look at in Google, which I love, because it's just transparent. There's no, there's nobody can hide the facts. It's just there in black and white. So a fast website, at the end of the day, is going to make you more money. You're going to get better rankings from a search engine optimization point of view. You're going to get more traffic. The better rankings you get, the more traffic you get. People are obviously happier that it's working faster, and if the site's working fast, they can move through the site fast. They can make bookings easier, quicker. So for me, it's very logical, and yet unfortunately the web world can make it quite technical, and it's not that difficult. There are tools around that you can check your site speeds. It's not difficult to change things around. I mean, Google make it easy. They'll actually tell you what you need to change in your website. So you just need to tell your web developers, this is, you've noticed that your site's a bit slow. Is there something you can do to tweak it, make it a bit faster, get the experience better? Number 7, how to get more direct bookings. So ensure that, and we spoke about this a bit earlier, that your price guarantee is explained. So, and I've got some examples of this, so when I send this through, you'll be able to see what those examples are, and by all means use them or modify them to your own needs. There's one with a lot of information in. They really broke it down. They had a big pop-up window that covers almost the whole screen, and it detailed everything that you got when you book direct. So I thought, wow, that's pretty clear. If there's any doubt in people's mind that they're going to not get a better offer, it's pretty much clear and spelled out. Other companies I've seen, they'll just offer a big price. I mean, this one offers lowest price guarantee, find a cheaper hotel room, and we'll pay you $50. So, they're even encouraging you to go and find it cheaper elsewhere, and they'll pay you $50. So what's going to happen? People are going to book direct with you, and you'll pay them $50, and you've got the booking, and you've now got a new client who you can send email marketing to forevermore. This other company, best price guarantee, or your first night is free. That's pretty bold, putting some skin in the game. So there's all different ones. And it was interesting, on doing a lot of this research for you guys, I noticed that one of the articles I came across said, don't say book direct. And I went, wow, what do they mean, don't say book direct? That's the whole point. We want people to book direct. And it was really coming at it from a point of view, it's the language that we use. The people actually don't understand what book direct means. We understand it because it's our industry, but the general public don't. And Booking.com certainly, they just talk about lowest price guarantee. They don't even go the book direct avenue. So I looked at, and I've put a few examples. Instead of saying book direct, you can make your booking at such and such hotel for the best rate. That was a long worded one. Or book directly on blah 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 your website. That's it's more grammatically. But the one I liked the most was, it said friends with benefits, and book with us, stay with us. And then it offered, it showed no penalties, best price guarantee, and no booking fees. So it was clearly laid out. You'll have access to see what that was. But it was just, I thought it had a bit of humour in it, and it was just very clear on the language rather than the book direct, which people don't fully understand. So they made it very clear and obvious, which I liked. This is an important one, and I see this mistake made, and I've had a few of our clients do this. They get all excited when they win an award, and they'll go and stick it on their homepage, and then suddenly we'll be monitoring their website a month, 2 months later, and we'll notice their homepage traffic or the exit links have increased massively. So we're losing a lot of traffic straight from our homepage. or that can typically also show in your bounce rate. In the bounce rate of your website, if they go to one page and then leave, it'll increase your bounce rate. And we couldn't figure out, we just built a new website for one of our clients, or a new landing page, homepage, and we were watching the bounce rate go up and up and up, and we're thinking, what is wrong? And then we noticed that the client had added this exit link. They'd put a couple of awards down the bottom. They'd put a brochure that linked out to an online brochure. So the minute you've got exit links, especially on your homepage, if you need to put them into your website, and you can, just put them deeper down into your website. So not on your accommodation page, not on your specials page, not on your home page, ever. Stay away from those pages. But what you can do is put it into your blog page. If you win an award, say it. Put a big photo there. Explain what the award was for and why you won it. So you can make a whole article about that. So not only is there one little logo which Google can't read, because the logo is just a graphic, but if you put an article about the award that you won and why you won it and what you won it for, then Google will index all that text, and if people are looking for an award-winning hotel, you're more likely to come up than just putting a graphic on your website. And with the TripAdvisor ones, what we normally do is we take a screenshot and we put the graphic on the page. We don't embed their code. If you embed their code and you change one thing, it breaks. And there's normally three exit links that lead out of that one simple graphics when you look at the code. So we always just put the graphic on and we take all the code out, and you can click through from the if you want people to read reviews, click on the TripAdvisor award and take them through to your guest review page. That's why it's important to have a guest review page. So you want to keep people within the family, within your website. If you let them out of your website, they're gone. It's unlikely they'll come back. Even with social media, in order to, and we're great advocates of social media, it's where everybody's attention is. People spend 3 to 7 hours a day on social media. That's absolutely where we need to be having, a presence as well. But we noticed that if you just put links going out to social media, that's it, people are gone, never coming back. Once on Facebook, gone for hours. I've fallen into that trap as well sometimes. So it's, we started putting a social media gallery. Let's pull the information into the website. So if you've got a big social media following out there, I'd also recommend that why don't you pull the information into your website. Try and keep people within your website. And again, we've got the control to make that look nice, style it, keep it simple, so that people aren't getting lost in all the Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising. Instagram feeds are a very popular addition that a lot of our clients are adding to their site. Because again, you don't have to, these days, take photographs of your hotel yourself, because if you've got lots of people staying there taking photos, you can use those photos. And there's ways of using, we've got an influencer marketing program that we help hotels learn how to leverage off people staying at the hotel, how to invite people to come and stay at the hotel, so that they can take all the photos for you, and then you can simply repost them yourself. Using your own channel, we can have them dynamically feed directly into your homepage, so you've got fresh images appearing all the time, so when people are looking at your website, because again, there's figures that show that people don't visit a site once, it'll be multiple times before they buy. That way they're seeing different photos all the time. We've got a friend a client he's Swiss, he's based in Switzerland, and his hotel's in Croatia, and it's beautiful. The island that he's on in Croatia is just gorgeous. He's always taking photos, and everyone who goes there takes photos, and his Instagram feed's beautiful. It's just stunning. I think I was just on it last week, where we've added another photo gallery, and I just get lost on that page. When it's so easy when you're on a big gallery page with lots of images to just get a feel for where you're going. And it's no longer about the price, it's no longer just about the location. You're now looking at the experience. You're now starting to feel the experience when you're seeing all the photos. So those are some pointers. Another great way of getting people into your website, and this is a simple one, is to make sure there's a link on your email signature. So a lot of people you're sending out emails all day, every day, but can people get back to your website from your email signature? So you can simply put a text link, or we create a graphic normally for our clients. It's a little bit fiddly sometimes, but we've worked out how to do it, and we've persisted at it because I believe it is such an important and powerful way of getting visitors. For us, at the end of the day, it's one thing to build a website, but it's like a car without petrol. If you don't put petrol in it, keep putting petrol in it, it's not going to go very far. So the website's the same. You need to be constantly getting visitors into your website. So that's a simple way of doing that. A couple more to go and then we can wrap it up. So with the cancellation policy, and this is a bit new to me, I'm not completely across what the best way to do this is, but on looking through a few sites, what a lot of our clients do is do advanced purchase offers. So instead of to counteract they've got clear cancellation terms, but they're offering people a better price if they purchase in advance, and they're being a bit more proactive with that. Because even on the Booking.com site, I've got a screenshot. It shows it actually says, got a big green banner that says free cancellation, no payment needed. So they're really promoting the fact that just book it, you can cancel anytime. And I'm talking to clients. When I asked one of the clients I do a lot of work with down in Brisbane, she's been in the industry all her life. I think she said she was born in a hotel. She just said, look, advanced purchase prices, you've got to have a clear strategy for your advanced purchase. And you can even put that out into, especially across your website. So if people are looking at price, Booking.com are never going to come close to what you can advertise as an advanced purchase rate. And with your advanced purchase rate, you can make no cancellation policy. So they're getting a really good deal, but they can't cancel. And for her, it's all about, she wants to build that lead time of 30 to 60 days plus. That's what she works on. So she's not looking for the last minute stuff. She really, for her, strength in doing her job well is building a 30 to 60 day lead time that she's got bookings already in the system. So she's, and that was her advice, to really focus on the advanced purchase, and you can basically say no cancellation because you're already getting the best rate ever. And the 10th area, and I see a lot of writing about this, because all the OTA channels, and Trivago have just joined in on it as well. Trivago is owned by Expedia. They offer rate insight tools. I don't know, does anyone use any of those here? Rate insight tools. So Booking.com, you can go in and look at your competitors' rates. Trivago are now offering a platform. So worth looking into it if you want to be able to manage your rates better. I looked at another one, another new software tool that came out. I'll put information about it when I send through an email, just to follow this up, because I only read about it late last night and I thought, wow, that looks interesting. But again, they're offering software that you can, to make it easier for you to determine what rate to offer when, because everyone's prices are changing all the time. So there is software coming out to do that. This is where the OTAs can help you. They've got software already built.
There's one called Booking Suite.
Booking Suite? Yep. So is that SiteMinder?
I've never used it personally, but I know properties I'm involved in use it, and that monitors. I think you can even set it up so it will automatically adjust your rate with better properties.
Yep. Yeah, and it's. I saw a graphic on LinkedIn yesterday, and it showed, on an airline, it showed people sitting on a plane, and on the back of each chair had a different price. Because that's kind of how it works. Jetstar will have a Friday Frenzy sale and $50 ticket, it's one seat on the plane, and then as more people book, the more expensive it gets. And it was a good graphic it clearly indicated that not everybody's paying the same price, and it's probably the same for hotels. Everyone's paying a different price, and they don't know what price they're paying based on when they booked and who they booked through and what the inclusions they got, and that's the reality of the world we live in. So, but again, there are tools, and this is where the OTAs can help. They offer free tools that you can use to. So I know Trivago have done it. Booking.com, Expedia, they all offer those tools. So if you are using those channels, I would look into and ask your agents, hey, how can I better manage my rates? And they've built these tools for you guys to use. So jump in there, and I'll endeavour to find out more information about it.
They contacted us recently, Trivago, about something really similar to that,
Yep.
saying that if you have a Book Direct banner, well, it's not a Book Direct, but it's best rate deal.
Yeah.
Your rate will come through at a lower rate than everybody else's, but it was really ambiguous because unless you knew to actually click on that one little
Yeah.
banner, your rate didn't come through.
Yeah.
And most people were just going to say best rate and see what's listed down the side.
Yep.
And so we didn't go with that because we
Yep.
said, well, I'm sorry, that's too ambiguous.
Not obvious.
I'm just going to click on that
Yep.
and know what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
But really, you're actually hiding that. So,
Exactly right. Exactly right. And
so it was a bit naughty, really. Because,
well, Trivago owned by Expedia,
yeah.
so they're not going to. Yeah, they are trying every little way that they can.
Because they sent us a demonstration page showing
Yeah.
a one on the Sunshine Coast that from Maludaba had
Yeah.
signed up to do it
Yeah.
and showed us with the drop-down menu. But it showed us as a screenshot of somebody having already clicked on that to
Yeah.
drop that down.
Yeah.
But when it feeds through, it's just this little wee...
People and on the Trivago side, it's all cluttered and busy, and you're not going to even see that and know to. Because again, the thing that I notice in the web industry is people tend to click less, and we had to change our design from where we would have a single page view and you would click on what you wanted and a new page would load, you'd click and a new page would load, you'd click and a new page would load, and this is getting boring. These days people click and they want to just scroll through, or it's click and just finger through.
It's the same with reviews of those sites as well. They only list the good reviews. You actually have to manipulate it to newest to oldest or
Yes.
time. And
Yeah.
it's just really misleading unless you know to do that. And
Yeah,
it's
it is. It's
manipulative.
and that's why in the UK that they are seriously looking at doing something about it. They've just gone. There's been that many cases against Booking.com. I read it all the time. I've almost stopped sensationalising it. It just happens a lot because I can't remember. A couple of countries in Europe have actually said, that's malpractice. You can't do that.
Sometimes I feel like just ditching them completely, but I know they're such a big referring agent.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't. No, you don't. Well, that's it. You don't have to go to those. You need to work with them. It's not let them take all your clients. It's just, again, and that's why I'm hoping I've shared just a little bit of information to help ask a few more questions. I'll leave my cards at the back there if you've got any more questions. I'd be happy to answer those. I can take some questions after this. I think we can pretty much wrap up now. Yep. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Any other questions that you have around your websites? Email marketing. Does everybody do email marketing?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how successful that is.
You don't?
No, but
See-
there's probably some questions.
See, email marketing, again, in our benchmark reports, we show it's an open rate of 35%. So we know 35% of the emails being sent out are definitely being opened and looked at. And they have a 14% click-through rate. So they've seen something they want and they go through to the website to buy. So these are sorts of figures you want to look at. And every email you send has got data.
Yeah, it's just something you've got to find the time to sit down and actually analyse.
That's why we do it for our clients, because nobody's got a lot of time. And the platform that we use, it's got a couple of buttons that you click. You can simply choose the last 12 campaigns you've sent and do a comparison. It'll give you an average. You just have to click a button and give you an average of what your open rate is and your click-through rate. You can see which email campaign worked the best And it's very interesting because when you look at the ones with the best open rate, what was your subject headline? And the difference that a few words can make in your subject headline of an email, because again, when you're on your phone, so 55% of people check email now on their phone, you can only read the first little sentence. And
Just even the first few words.
first few words. So that's where it's important. And you just need to think like, be yourself. If you were you booking your hotel, how would you do it? And I think a lot of trust and faith is put in technical people and web people, and really it gets a bit diluted. Just keep it simple. Like you said, that's not logic, that doesn't make sense, I wouldn't click on it. Don't do it. Sometimes it's that simple. So, but there are definitely numbers, and that's why all online marketing that we do, I mean, we're tracking even, like I mentioned, you can put your web address on your email signature. We track that. We know how many people came from your email signature to your website.
What about Google Ads?
Google Ads
Yeah.
works incredibly well for two reasons. It basically combats, because all the portal websites, the OTA websites, that's predominantly what they use. So they will take out the first 4 and the bottom 4 slots. So, and they will also try and take out some of the organic listings as well. If you run ads, Google will give you preference because it's your name, and we will definitely be able to get onto the first page of Google in with the portal website. So you will be seen. Basically, you're increasing your visibility. They do work. We've got clients, they don't work for every property, to be honest, but the clients that we've got, about 10 clients using it, they've got the big enough properties with the marketing budget. They spend maybe $1,500, $2,500 a month on AdWords, and that can generate $20,000, $30,000 worth of revenue when it's working and when it's been done properly. We don't, again, I've worked with a lot of AdWords consultants, and I've found it difficult finding ones that really know what they're doing, who really pay attention to the tracking and specifically the revenue tracking, because there's no point running Google Ads if you don't know how much revenue it's generating. It's just pointless. So you really need to be able to know what ads you're running and which ads are making the money, so that you can adjust your ads so that you making sure that it's bringing in the money. And when it takes 3 to 6 months to get a good AdWords campaign running properly, and you've played around with the words and the search terms. But the thing that's growing is Facebook advertising. So a lot of, when we have, say, an influencer come and stay in a hotel, and they do a Facebook post, they put some pictures in, do a bit of an article, and we notice that it's getting a lot of attention, we can then choose to pay for that post to get broadcast further. And Facebook are very, very granular when it comes to the demographic. So you can choose people in certain areas, demographics, very powerful. What you can do with the targeting of Facebook. So, and it's a little bit cheaper than Google. Our clients that are doing AdWords are also doing Facebook, so we're running them simultaneously. Because again, if you look at where is people's attention, it's in social media, so it works well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you said a 40% opening rate, 30%
35% open rate.
through, or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes,
I don't know whether that's good or whether it's bad when I'm sitting in there.
it's very high for our industry.
So if I was getting a report, I'd
Yeah.
like to have some sort of
Yep.
indication as to, are we going okay or are we not?
Yep,
going okay?
that's why I do benchmark reports, because if I take our top performing 100 hotels, and I do this every year, and I work out what is the click-through rate that everyone's getting, what is the open rate that everyone's getting, how many emails does everybody send? I look at as many data points as I can, so that you've got some sort of average to compare against, because I totally agree, it's a great question. How do you know that you're doing well? Because you're just comparing yourself against yourself. And that has one advantage. You can compare the stats of a campaign you sent last month with the campaign you send this month. That's one comparison rate to do. And then the other comparison is to, well, if I compare the results to this, what's the industry average? And that's what we share again, we've got a broad spectrum of similar properties. I mean, there's no...
It just prompts you, how can we do better?
Exactly. Exactly.
What are they doing that we're not doing?
And sometimes it's just changing your subject line. A big mistake I see with email marketing, people put a special offer out. Guess what? It's got everything in the offer, including the terms and conditions, the pricing, and you end up with an email like that, which on a phone is like that, and nobody's going to read it. And whereas all you need to say is, hey, we've got a fantastic Christmas or school holiday special on our website, just released. People go, and what is it? Guess what? Have to click. And when they click, goes through to your specials page. That's where the special is. Really important that we get visitors from your email into your website, because now Google are tracking that. We're increasing your SEO. And once they're on your website, guess what? They're on your website. Now we can show them lots of things. We can show them all your special offers. We can show them, how great the property looks. We can show them, that you've got your fantastic best rate guarantee. And so it's the real job of any online marketing is to get them onto your website. And then the first job is to make sure that that website is really comprehensive and simple, easy, inspiring, and shows a point of difference. So with every client we work with, I always like to look for what's the point of difference. I mean, we can be working on a couple of properties that are almost next to each other, and it doesn't matter because each one is still very different clientele, different attributes, different facilities, same location, but so many other different things. Or more importantly, we use TripAdvisor and Booking.com and all the reviews on those websites. We will read through thousands of those and see, well, what's the common thing that's being said about your property? What do people love about your property? One of the properties, everyone kept commenting on the pillows, how nice the pillows were. So we mentioned it to them, and now they sell those pillows because everybody loves the pillows. It was the same when I worked with Western hotels. We did Asia Pacific, so we had New Zealand and the 4 properties in Australia. They sold their beds. Everybody loved the beds in the Western. Beautiful, soft, dreamy night's sleep, and they used to sell a lot of beds. One of our clients in Sydney, they sell a lot of beds too, because they've gone out of their way to get a really, quality bed. That's what they want, something really good to sleep on. So little things like that. It's understanding what is your clientele comment on. What's remarkable about your property? What are they remarking about on these different channels? So it's not rocket science, but it does take time, and that's where we also help our clients as much as possible. We try and, part of our process with working with our clients is to try and get that understanding and keep adapting to the changing market, keep you informed. You're also welcome to, on our website, for our clients, I write a weekly insight. So all this information, I mean, I write a weekly insight that goes out to our clients every week. Just a little bit of information. I try and keep it short and sweet. I might read 5 different articles and condense it into just a short, simple article that's just in plain English. Interesting, not interesting, and that way people can read it, not read it. And our blog has got a lot of information on but again, it dates very quickly in this industry. And that's my talk. I'd like to say thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I'm grateful you all made time in your busy lives and day to come out, and I hope I've shared something that's of value.